That's pretty impressive. Hook 40, throwing it down.
Dellavedova, ultra impressive.
The teenager rocks another three. And Alex Sarton, how do you like that? Well, RAC Arena in Perth is one of the most feared home courts in the Hungry Jacks NBL, and the Wildcats have won 8 of their last 9 games here. But one team not daunted by the jungle is Melbourne United. They arrive with former Wildcat Luke Travers, and we are glad that you are here as well as round 3 of the Hungry Jacks NBL continues live from Perth. The last time these teams met here, it was a one-point thriller, with Perth snatching victory from the jaws of defeat with 8 unanswered points in the last minute. We're expecting another thriller, and we're glad that you're along for the ride. Hello, everybody. I'm John Casey, alongside 5-time NBL Championship winning coach Trevor Gleeson. And Trev, the Mitsubishi Motors ladder will show the winner here tonight is going to be sharing top spot. There's a lot on the line.
Yeah, you want to get those early wins in the season, and they're 2 giants playing against each other tonight. I can't wait for this matchup. I'm really looking forward to it.
What do you think is going to be the key in the game?
Well, for Melbourne United, it's their defensive backcourt. Illy and Dellavedova against Webster and my man Bryce. So that's going to be a battle just to watch. And then you've got Luke Travers coming back. This is going to be a cracker.
Everywhere you look, there are stars, and they're in the crowd as well, because joining us tonight is the unofficial mayor of Perth, Damien Martin. He's a man of the people. Welcome to you, Damo.
I'm sitting in the very seats that Luke Travers' mum and dad used to sit in while they supported their son over a number of years, winning championships and representing the Perth Wildcats. Mr. and Mrs. Travers, they're amazing, but we've replaced them with the Perth Wildcats' #1 supporter. That is a real tattoo. And how long have you been coming to the games with your mum and dad?
Mum and Dad have been here for 37 years. I've been here for 4 years with my daughter.
The Red Army, let's see how they embrace Luke Travers. We haven't been able to completely get rid of him from RAC Arena, though.
Go, Luke!
He is very much loved here in Perth. How'd you go?
Some brave fans in the house there going with Damien Martin, the Melbourne United, but they've got such a good record here and they play so well here. And for Luke Travers, well, he arrived here, and I think as Damien joins us here at the bench, that Luke may have had a little bit of trouble knowing exactly where to go here at the... Well, he knew where to go, but he thought he was still with the Wildcats.
You're spot on. Upon arriving at RAC, preparing for the game, he actually walked into the Wildcats locker room. So a creature of habit, he's walked in, taken his first ride, and then he looked at all these Wildcats players staring back, and he thought, sorry, fellas, I'm in the wrong one.
And talking about new faces here, what about Alex Sarr? This 18-year-old phenom, outstanding last week, winning the game off his own hand.
Man, and I'm really impressed. First time looking at him, just his height, length, but his defensive understanding. He is older than that 18-year-old. And then to finish the game off, Bryce pops 2 gems right in front of his hands, and he finishes the game off. You can see him take it off the dribble, got a little float away, and here's one of those threes late in the game. And here's that second one, Bryce finding them again. And they were big shots, money time shots, Damo.
They're absolutely massive. And speaking about his IQ, I believe players are in the prime of their careers when their athletic ability meets their IQ. And if you can fast track that, it means you can have 8 or 10 years getting the best out of your game because you read it so well. And that's what Alex Sarr does. 19-year-old
Ben Henschel, let's not forget about him as an Australian up-and-coming prospect. And what a battle it's going to be between, we saw Hook 40 playing for Melbourne United as well, but Ben Henschel, 24 points on debut. First time an Australian's ever led a game in scoring on debut. Not the most points ever. Joe Ingles has got that with the Dragons, but 19, step into your first game and top the scoring sheet, Trev.
Well, that's a pretty big company he's with, isn't it, Joe Ingles? You mentioned that when Joe came to play for the Dragons. It's, you know, there's a bright future. Both of these teams have really recruited well in the off-season, and they've got some great personnel. This is going to be a great game early on. Both teams want to win. At the home team, Perth, you don't want to give away early losses at home. And Melbourne want to bounce back after a disappointing game against Tassie.
And Ian Clark back into the lineup last week, so he's got his feet under him now. His second game for Melbourne's obviously going to be better, and we know he's a winner. Championship winner with Sydney in 22, championship winner with the Golden State Warriors in 2017. Ian Clark's bringing a lot to the table.
Well, we spoke about basketball IQ. Andrew Bogut is right up there with teammates I've had when it comes to understanding the game. He gave Ian a tick of approval. He said, this guy knows the game. He is a winner. Doesn't matter which team he gets put on, he will make his teammates better, and they'll get more wins and losses.
he can knock down the shot for you, and he's good in terms of coming up with the creativity as well. There's not a lot he can't do, Ian Clark, and Melbourne are really going to enjoy his services. Didn't see the best of him in Adelaide last season, but back to Sydney where, well, he held them across the line, and no doubt he's going to be a vital pickup for Melbourne. We're still a little bit short. No Joe Luala-Chul for the team as yet, but he's still to come back. And Chris Goulding as well. Well, 32 games in a row, he's knocked down at least a 3. It's the longest streak we've got in current players at the moment, and he'll be looking to bounce back.
Yeah, I think I went 32 games without making a 3, so Chris is one of the best shooters the NBL has ever seen. And then when it comes to Joe Luala-Chul, the Wildcats have no excuse not to try and win the rebound count tonight. They lost it to Adelaide last weekend despite getting the win over them. They've got to win the rebound count tonight if they want to play a part in trying to get this win.
Let's have a look at the starting fives. Perth are going with the same lineup that they used last week when getting the job done against the Adelaide 36ers by 7 points. They'll need to get a little more out of Christian Doolittle, though, averaging 4 points, 4 rebounds in 24 minutes. But Bryce Cotton in the picture. There's always something good going to happen for the Wildcats. And for Melbourne United, their starting five is the same five that they used in the game against Tasmania last weekend, where they led everywhere but where they needed to and lost by 5 down the stretch. How do they bounce back from that type of loss, Trev?
Yeah, that was a bad loss. That poise down the extra, and Tasmania playing some great confidence. And Scott Roth is doing a great job here. But this game is going to be a cracker. I can't wait for them to see the backcourt pressure with Illy, Deladova against Webster and Bryce Cotton.
Illy hands over, Travers, early touch. Booze from the crowd as well. Not unexpected. Hook 40, skip pass, holding in the corner. Can't finish it off, and Usher snatches the board.
You know who loves having Luke Travers joining on the team and coming back to Perth? Chris Goulding. He was the one they used to boo, and now it's all towards L2.
They still managed to boo when he was ran out onto the floor tonight. And the look inside from Usher, it's just on a different wavelength to Doolittle, and the Wildcats turn it over for the first time.
Yeah, Bryce just got held up on that screen. And that's what Melbourne are going to do. Melbourne are going to be physical and hit the screeners all the time. And Usher just threw that ball away before Bryce getting open.
Deladova is shut down. Well done by Pender. Aggressively with a block shot. Comes to Cotton. Uses Corey Webster. And now Doolittle got an open look. Steps inside hook 40 against Travers. Nothing on offer. Goes back to Corey Webster. He picks up the dribble, and Cotton, they reset. They go to Cotton. Got inside Goulding. Hook 40 there. Trying to prevent it, but he can't stop Bryce, who's quite nice to open the account.
That's a great little touch. Left-hand floater. Knew he was going to get the shot blocked. Gave it a little bit of extra juice. Bryce Cotton at his best. Oh, he held the rim. I don't know if he's going to count this. That was a offensive interference.
Here's a Harvey Norman replay with Pender's defensive work there, shutting down Deladova.
And he grabs the ring. I don't think the grab of the ring causes the ball to go in. It's already going in the basket. Okay, so
left hand for a right-hander, getting over the league's leading block shot. That's unbelievable.
Well, the basket's going to count here.
That's a big call.
John really can't believe it right in front of our comment. He's looking for an explanation from Michael Aylen.
Michael did not saying the ball's going to go in anyway, but you can't grab the ring before the ball gets in the bucket. You can't make that call unless you go into the video. So I was on the Perth Wildcats for that call. It should have been disallowed, go to the line for 2. But he gets the N1.
57% free throw shooter. Hook 40 can't make the extra. Ball don't lie. I think there's something of that in that. So Doolittle hands over to Pinder. Now Usher. Down low. The ball, and Doolittle's lost control of it, and Illy's scooping up the loose ball, which is inconvenience Doolittle, who's slow to get back to his feet. Deladova gets a good look, can't convert, and now it's on the play, and we're just going to hold up play here because Christian Doolittle is clutching at his right knee here after colliding with Shea Illy.
Yeah, you had to jump over him just to avoid that contact. Shea's gone down to get the ball. Here he is on the drive, gets deflected. Shea gets the ball, and he's just that right knee when Shea went and got the ball. I hope he's okay. It hasn't really hurt himself because we haven't really seen Doolittle at his best just yet, but he's calling for assistance and it doesn't look good, Damo.
Alex? No, and Shea Healy, on the other hand, he probably doesn't even know he got touched.
Yeah.
He's as tough as they come. He was always going to get that loose ball. If it's he or another player in the league, it's usually his.
Well, Some medical attention here to Christian Doolittle. And Alex Sarr's going to check into the game.
Basket interference either has to cause the ball to go in or not.
And it is a shame. I love that John really has run an early play to roll the ball into the block for Doolittle, knowing they really need to get him going. Been a little quiet since joining the Wildcats, but his resume speaks for itself. He can flat out play. We want to see the best of him. John was trying to bring him into the game, but unfortunately it looks like he's going to be escorted off with a bit of help.
Yeah, that doesn't look good. You can't put no weight on that, Damo, and he grabbed that straight away. His right knee right there, just on the rib cage in the back. And look, we hope that's all right, but nothing sinister about that. Illy's going to get the ball, and there's two guys going for that ball, so we hope he's back.
Never a dull moment in the Wild West. Almost 2 minutes played here in the opening quarter. 2 points apiece. Melbourne just 1 of 4 from the field. Have been as efficient as the Wildcats, although they do have a couple of turnovers. Bryce Cotton off the mark, reporting the rebound.
Case, just with that, Melbourne are really sinking down, and that's really hurt them last week against Tasmania on that pick and roll and hand off. The big guys have got to come up and show a little bit higher, because Bryce is going to drop those 3-pointers. And you see that what happened to him last week against Tassie down the stretch. Great move by Pinder. A nice spin move and finish at the bucket.
Aggressive work there from Keanu Pinder. Melbourne, they shoot the ball poorly all season, just 37%. Here's Travers with a high percentage play as he welcomes himself back into the jungle.
That's a nice way to welcome back into the jungle. Luke is a fantastic player. It's really sad for Perth that he moved over there. And we got Webster with a push-off. Get into his free spot. That's just a great aggressive move, and that's where he's got to take that ball straight up high, use his athleticism and get it. And that's how he's developed over the years. Before, that used to be a layup. Now he's got to be playing like a man and dunk that.
3 minutes played in the opening quarter. Shea Illy, penetration, then tried to find a pass to Hook Portier. Goes awry. Cotton, Usher, Sarr and Webster joining in on cue. Front of the rim. Wouldn't fall for him. Sarr had a piece of it, but couldn't control it enough with the tip. Now Golding. Goes to Travers. Back to Golding, who's quick to go and quick to fire, knocks down the 3 as he puts Melbourne in front for the first time.
Now, I've seen this too many times here, Damo, and you have too. Chris loves playing here. He gets on the crowd, even though the crowd's not booing him as much as they normally do with Luke Travers here. He can play, flat out play in this arena. Here he goes again.
And he's firing quickly, trying to draw a foul on Bryce Cotton. See it that way, so loose ball scramble and Cotton gets afterwards. Chance for the Wildcats. Almost 4 minutes played in this opening quarter. Sarr out of control, loses the ball, and turnover number 3 now for the Perth Wildcats.
And that's an offensive foul. It's a good position by Dellavedova, I think it was, and putting his body on the line nice and early and picked up a cheap one from Sarr, which is going to hurt Perth with Doolittle out. So
yeah, they can't afford.
Fouled out last game too.
And that's 2 charges that Delhi's drawn. So I need to take back the comment I made earlier about Shea Illy. Maybe Dellavedova. You roll the ball out. I want to see who gets it out of those 2.
I'm not betting against Delhi.
Here he is on cue now. Shot clock rolls to single digits. Golding, more 3s in this venue than any other player. Saying something for a man who comes here infrequently. We're going to see Ty Webster check into the game for the first time as well. Great to have him back. Trained all week, John really said. And started game 1, lasted only 9 minutes before suffering a lower leg injury. So he's ready to go, and he's certainly a vital component, Damo.
And you see the benefits of having him back fit and healthy straight away. Bryce is now passing the ball in instead of being the receiver of it, where he's going to get pressured full court by a Dellavedova, by a Shea Illy, where they're hoping to wear him down. Now he can play off the ball, get some screens set for him, and trying to get a breather back instead of being under that pressure.
Kyle Bowen also onto the floor, a former Wildcat.
Well, a former championship player in 2019. That's a good post move by Usher.
So this has been a good contest so far as both teams trying to wrestle some momentum Their way. Bowen picks up the dribble. Not a lot on offer. Reaching inside, dislodged it. Bowen tried to keep it alive, and now a foot violation. So fans don't like it. Melbourne are going to come up with possession.
It does, correct. That's correct. 14.
It's going to be a physical battle without a question. These loose balls are going to have a lot of ability to show who wins the game. Winning that possession game, Damo, and you really have to get those nice and early in the game.
And it's been nice and physical. You know, one of the bare basics of defense you should have as a goal.
Oh, push off.
Disrupt rhythm, disrupt timing. Both teams are doing that to their opposition when they're on D.
So the foul is called on Ariel Hawty. So his first personal, he does suffer with foul problems. He's averaging 4 a game, which is top 5 in the competition. He's already fouled out once. We saw him leave early against the Adelaide 36ers. So it's an area of his game, particularly for a big man, that's so crucial that they can stay in the game. Saw Pinder foul out last week, and that opened the door for Alex Sarr. So we're seeing Sarr and Pinder in tandem here. Arshas looking back door, got inside Lowe, whose second ever was terrific. Diffused a dangerous situation, drags it down out of court. Perth have got 7 on the shot clock.
Ty Webster was in the wrong place for that play. He had to, that was a backdoor play for Usher, and he was going to set the screen. So a little bit lucky there, United.
6-2, the rebound count in Perth's favour, and the elevation from Pinder, and the finish was spectacular. 6 unanswered points here from the Wildcats. And they have wrestled the lead back from Melbourne.
And just Bryce's presence. 2 guys go to him looking for that bounce pass. Pinder does the right move, splits down the middle, and finishes a little bit of a soft N1, Damo. I hate to give those things away.
Yeah, I didn't even notice the hand check. I was too excited by the dunk itself. We just saw an incredible one by LT at one end, and now we're seeing it from Pinder at the other.
Dellavedova quickly up the floor, goes to Clark, who works inside Webster, confronted by Sarr. Doesn't bother him as he knocks down his first points. He breaks a 7-0 run in favour of the Wildcats. Perth by 2. Cotton exploring, back to Pinder, looks inside, quick pass. Sarr elevates against Rob Lowe. That was pretty to watch.
Yeah, just a horn set. You don't have any weak side help. It's going to be open all day. And great pass by Pinder back in there.
Rob Lowe's been good from deep so far this season and continues to impress.
Usher's not happy whatsoever. He did not know that pick was being set. That's on his teammates to call it out. If you're going to pressure full court, you should be backed up by your teammates.
Dang good D from Rob Lowe as he rejects the shot from Usher. So Rob Lowe doing it at both ends of the floor. What a fill-in he's been. As Clark fires, measures the 3 and puts Melbourne back on top.
They've got to be a little bit more respectful of these shooters. Perth are playing underneath the 3-point line.
This is Cotton. Foul going to be called on Dellavedova. 13 foul on Melbourne United. Delhi's first.
And Dean Vickerman is going to use his tag team all over. Illy went for a quick sub, comes back in to take Dellavedova, goes straight back and pick Bryce Cotton up. So he's going to get this tag team all game. This is a great matchup that we're going to see here.
Gee, it's handy depth to have on the bench, isn't it? 2 of the heavyweights of the competition.
Well, I think they're the best defensive backcourt in the league.
I think Vickerman's recruited accordingly that last 5 years with Bryce Cotton in mind. And so they had Bubba, they've had different point guards in the back court with the presence of mind to get after Bryce Cotton, so they can have that tag team when it comes to subbing in and out and not losing any of that pressure.
He's Lowe muscling his way in against Bryce Cotton, drawing a foul, and Rob Lowe off to the free throw line.
Yeah, he's not very well known to go off the dribble. I've seen the mismatch, tried to use his strength and height, and yeah, so that ball wouldn't have got past to Damian Martin. And maybe these days can't move that much, but yeah, it was good option by Lowe to get to the rack.
I walked up the stairs to go and say good day to Scott Fisher earlier, and I'm still out of breath and my knees are swollen, but I'm looking forward. We're going to have Scotty Fisher join us at half-time, which would be great.
Ice is right behind us, so I don't know what that was for.
There's Scott Bishop, quite a legend of the sport. First time back in Australia for 15 years. Celebrating his 60th birthday and doing a world tour, it would seem. It's going to be great to catch up with him at half-time. Stick around for that. Three-time championship winner, 2 here in Perth. Multiple MVP of the league as well. Well done Usher there against Krebs to keep that alive, and earns a trip to the free throw line.
And that's where Usher is just a work ethic to get there. Was really out of position, battled hard to get that rebound and gets rewarded, get to the line.
Travers checks back in to the murmurs of the crowd.
You know, it's regularly over Perth. They'll welcome you at the introductions. When you get introduced, you'll get a cheer. And after that, you're the opposition.
Now we've got some very proud parents at RAC tonight. Luke Travers' mum and dad, they don't miss a game. But then Cole Bowen, first time playing against the team he trained with for a significant amount of time before heading over to St Mary's. His parents were in the house as well.
Well, it was development player, Damo.
Yeah, DP, that's right.
Got a championship before he went over there and had a great college career at St Mary's in the NCAA last season on the tournament.
Illy puts it on the deck, bounces into his Kiwi counterpart there, and Ty Webster couldn't get a whistle though. Little over 2 minutes left in this opening quarter. We're tied at 17. Both teams have had their moments. Haven't been able to really assert their authority, but it's been good to watch as Harris extra pass here for Saar, and they're going to wave it away.
See, and this is where United did a hard show on Bryce Cotton, get the ball out of his hands, and they don't defend Harris. And Harris has got to be able to shoot that 3, and then their rotations get back there a little bit easier. So if you're going to show, you have to punish him on the weak side of having those shooters ready to shoot the ball.
Well, they didn't help off weak side. So they've made it clear that Shea Illy is not leaving Bryce Cotton. Shea doesn't make mistakes like that. He normally would be at the nail or near the free throw line where we're seeing Alex Saar shoot the ball. Now, to be on defense, to be on help, instead he looked and said, no, I'm not leaving Bryce. So they're willing to let someone else get a half open look to make sure BC doesn't get open at all.
Wildcats have used 8 players so far. Melbourne 9. Melbourne have to back up on Sunday at home against Brisbane. Have that campaign for the next 3 weekends in a row, a Friday night followed by a Sunday afternoon, so you have to really be mindful of that. Travis in close range can't convert. And Melbourne come up empty, and a chance now for the Wildcats, who are 7 of 13 from the field at 54%. The offense has been good, but just running out of real estate there, Ty Webster. And the turnovers are hurting Perth. That's 5 to 3 in that category as we get a timeout by Melbourne United. 1:32 left on the clock here, 17 apiece. This has been entertaining so far. And speaking about Shea Illy, we can talk about him coming back from the World Cup, Trevor. We were there watching that, calling that, and at the World Cup he averaged 7 assists a game, top 3 in the tournament. He was outstanding. But back here now, he's averaging 1 per game. I know a different role, but how do they get him more involved?
Yeah, well, Melbourne United got different ball handlers. You got Deladova and you got Luke Travers. I think Luke Travers plays his best when he's at point guard and getting the lanes and make that pass. So there's going to be an adjustment period. When Shea was with New Zealand, he was the sole point guard. He was running the team and he was dishing the ball out to Rangi and without the Webster brothers there. But I don't think it'll stay that way. The primary role here is defensive and spread the floor when he can, but look for a lot more assists out of him tonight.
And Damo, as someone who's come back from the Olympics playing from Australia into an NBL season, what sort of adjustments do you need to make, or how did you find it?
Look, it comes down to simply understanding your role, knowing your role, and playing to the best of your ability. And that's dependent on which team, which jersey you're putting on. So for the Wildcats, you might have one role, you go away, play for the Boomers, are significantly different. And that applies on and off the floor. I was a captain and I was expected to talk up with the Wildcats. You're getting ingrained in the Boomers community, and all of a sudden you've got Bogut, a verbal leader, Paddy Mills, Dellavedova. So you just adjust to whatever is required of you in that team.
LT upstairs on the miss from Krebs, just puts a finishing touches on.
That press breaker just blew the Wildcats out of the floor to get an open 3 on a 2-on-1, and Luke Travers cleaned up. 4 points, 2 dunks.
I think he's enjoying himself out there.
It certainly looks like it. As Saar fires the 3, it's short. Lowe grabs the rebound. So 9-6 is the rebound count in favour of Perth so far. Inside the last 60 seconds of an entertaining first quarter. Trusher enjoying her coverage. Yeah. The Hungry Jacks NBL round 3 continues. Well done Hiram Harris against Lowe. Steals it away from him, deflected it initially. Now hands over, Michael Harris. Saar wants Cotton, he was open and turned him down. Wants to go solo and put on some fancy footwork, but couldn't hit the target. Kept alive by Harris, and now Cotton does get it via Ty Webster. Shot clocked at 10. Bryce works to an opening against Clark. Off the front of the rim, and Clark gets after the rebound as well. So none of 2 from deep Bryce Cotton. And he scurries back there on defense to create some havoc.
Case just with that Alex Saar, that last move. He did a spin and went away as a floater. That's really, he should have span and finished on the rim and used his height. He could really flush that down, and that's some of the skills he's going to learn and develop at the next level at the NBA. You can see here on the hard drive, spin that. Now he should get onto the front of the rim with the spin move. He gets the step back, but he's still young, still developing, but it's a great first move to have that spin.
And rarely do you see Bryce Cotton get frustrated if he isn't given the ball, but because he's had so little space, the one time he's open and they don't pass it, he was upset. As you see, Goulding knocked down another 3.
Biggest lead of the game so far. Melbourne United open up a 5-point buffer. But Perth can have the last say in this opening quarter as Ty Webster against Illy. The 2 Kiwis head-to-head. Here's Pinder being aggressive. Shut down by Rob Lowe. Good defensive presence again. So Rob Lowe's been excellent. 3 blocks in the game.
Ty Webster has been in the wrong position a couple of times. I know he hasn't played, but it really affects the chemistry on the court when the guy doesn't know plays and where to be. Look for this back pick. Do this again, the back pick and then the pop out.
Pinder needs to get it off quickly against good defense, can't make it fit, and the opening quarter concludes here, and Melbourne United find themselves with a 5-point lead in a team where both teams had their moments. At quarter time, it's Melbourne 22, Perth 17. A whole lot more coming for you right here from Perth in the RAC Arena after this. Welcome back to Friday Night Hoops at RAC Arena in Perth. Two of the heavyweights of the competition, and there has been excitement aplenty above the rim from both teams. Luke Travers coming back to his former stomping ground, and Keanu Pinder showing that he can get upstairs as well.
Absolutely first class. Both of them taking baskets strong, to the rim and finishing thorough. And then we see a little bit of zone here from Melbourne United. They change that up and then picking up full court. The 1-3-1, and that's where it's open on the weakness. Great little pass by Corey Webster over to Pinder at the rim when the rotation wasn't there.
Dellavedova exploring. Took 40 against Pinder. Good contest down low. Two big, strong bodies going at it. Gets it back by a Krebs. Shot clock at 8. Here's hook 40 against Pinder. Wants to take him on with the left hand. Did enough just to worry him out of the points.
That'd be right, Case. That was a great defensive set by Pinder.
Just losing the handle there. Pinder thought it was knocked down and perhaps even fouled. Referees didn't see it that way. Michael Aylan, Mitch Hare and Mark Grist, 3 men in charge here tonight. Brad Newley onto the floor for the first time as well. Veteran of the league. Dellavedova back to Newley, who puts it on the deck. Good screen from hook 40, getting his body in there.
One of the great slashes the NBL has seen, Brad Newley, and funnily enough, I've actually married into the family. My wife, he and Brad are cousins, so I'm not even the best basketballer in the family, but I love seeing Brad still out there after all these years doing his thing.
It's an amazing story and what a journey he's had as Bryce Cotton elevates. At the three working at the moment, Bryce. None of three in this game, and coming into this game, 6 of 24 at 25%. That's unlike Bryce numbers.
I think a number of those have been open nice and early, and like Damo just alluded to a little bit before, when he's open, you're certainly going to make that pass and let him have free range, because he can heat up very shortly.
We saw last week, Perth had their woes with none of 14 from long range at halftime. They're none of 5 here, so shooting problem continues for them. They're averaging 33% in the season, which is 7th in the league. Which has been working for them as Dellavedova takes on Usher, found a way past and then didn't want to go on with it. Gets it back now from Golding, works baseline. They were patient and they came up with a high percentage play.
The execution, Melbourne are presenting at one end. They're moving it from one side of the court to the other. They're being patient. They're using pick and rolls. They're getting the shots they want, where we've seen a couple of back-to-back possessions by the Wildcats where they're almost forcing it. This is better. They actually had some movement, and Usher's backed himself in, but another three-point miss.
So none of 6 now. Melbourne 4 of 9 from deep. Golding baseline.
Foot out here.
Foot violation called by Michael Aylan. Reset the shot clock here. But a game-high 7-point lead at the moment for Melbourne United.
Timeout here.
And timeout call. 7:43 on the clock here in term number 2. And John Rillie, the coach of the Wildcats, spoke to Damien Martin pre-game. As we take a snooze timeout, we'll listen in with JR.
Travers, his first time back here facing up against his old team. Do you think the Red Army will give him a boo when his name's announced?
I'm sure they'll support him appropriately and fittingly, but, you know, like there's going to be a lot of emotion in this building tonight with the return of him.
And Bryce Cotton, he's coming up against Shea Ely, one of the best defenders in the league. Bryce seems to love these challenges. Are we expecting a big one out of BC?
Absolutely. You know, everyone's talking about BC and where he sits in it all, but look, he's been phenomenal. The return of Ty Webster will give him the ability to play off ball, which he hasn't got to do the last couple of games. So I think that fits his game a little better over the course of a game.
From the current coach of the Perth Wildcats to a former coach of the Perth Wildcats, and royalty in the house as well. Paul Rogers alongside him, but Scott Fisher, first time back in Australia for 15 years. What a career he put together, 417 games. And started back in 1987. He's in the Basketball Hall of Fame, represented Australia at the Olympics as well, 2-time MVP, and his number hanging from the rafters here, Damo. It'll be good to catch up with him at halftime.
Yeah, I was like a kid on Christmas morning when I walked in and I saw Scott Fisher there, and we see the number 30. It's good to see the number 30 banner, and it's also good to see Scott enjoying that burger as much as he was.
He looks in great shape. He certainly looks after himself as Golding gets it done baseline once more. He's putting on a good show here.
Now, that was just too easy. That's just up screen and gets an open, uncontested shot. And as a shooter, you get uncontested shots, you're going to get your eye in nice and easy.
Golding has 8 to lead all scorers in the game, and the margin continues to grow here. It's out to 9. 6-2 run in this quarter, and Golding goes quickly again, this time off the front of the rim. Well done there by Saar, just to get a piece of the action and work it to the advantage of Bryce Cotton. Almost 3 minutes played, term number 2. Pinder finds Usher in the corner, working on Krebs, whose recovery was good, stayed in front of him, just went on with it though. And Krebs picks up the foul, free throws to come.
He just reached in with his hands. He had a good defense coverage in the first instant, but
Here we are.
get down there and reach for the ball, and Usher gets to the foul line again. And Wildcats need these two just to stay in touching distance. Melbourne, as Damo alluded to, just executing a little bit better in the half court, getting better looks.
Well, what the Wildcats have to do, I mentioned with Shea Healy, now Dellavedova's doing it. They're not playing help side defense when they're starting on Bryce Cotton. Once again, Delhi didn't even look like jumping to weak side. They're just saying someone else from this Wildcats team has to beat us. It's not going to be Bryce Cotton.
And why would you? Exactly right.
Test them.
You're going to pick your poison, and you're going to let other people shoot the ball. And they've got to be able to shoot it and knock it in.
Jordan Usher now with 7 points, joins Pinder as the high scorer for the Wildcats. The margin is 8 in favour of Melbourne United. Golding gets it from Dellavedova. Shot clock works to single digits here. Dellavedova takes on Cotton, feeds Clark. Good work from Henschel to get out there quickly. They left Travers alone. That's his 3rd dunk in the game.
Melbourne again, just making that extra pass, playing unselfish. They really are going to work here. And Bryce on the backcourt.
Challenged by Golding, who talked him out of the points. So Bryce, 2 of 7 from the field, 4 points for him so far. Hook Porty takes on Pinder, good elevation. The ball snapped off the cylinder there. Saar got a piece of that. A chance for the Wildcats here. Archer goes solo with a 3 ball. That's off the mark. Saar tried to keep it alive. Perth now none of 7. In fact, none of 8 from long range with that miss. Dellavedova wants to take it hard back at them. Clark with a triple of his own. That's off the mark.
And it's good hustle by Luke Travers on the glass. Wins that extra possession. And see, nice drive. Doesn't force it over, makes the extra pass, and 3 out of 3. 3 dunks, 6 points with Luke Travers.
A Harvey Norman replay showing LT getting it done.
I don't know who you're talking
And that
to.
is what you used to call the dunker's position, Trev. And that's how you're supposed to finish from there.
But I just like the unselfishness of United. They are making that extra pass. They're not forcing up, where the Wildcats are coming down and shooting a little bit probably too early. And there's another easy basket off one screen.
Golding into double figures. He has 10. Margin out to a game-high 12 at the moment for the Wildcats. As Pinder goes solely and takes on Rob Lowe, who's called for the foul. It's going to be his 2nd personal.
I think the Wildcats need to maybe get Jesse Wagstaff out there. Just a cool head to get O through some execution. Can stretch the floor with the 3.
Haven't seen a lot of Jesse Wagstaff this season, have we? Averaging just 7 minutes per game, averaging 2 points in game number 449 tonight. Most games any player in the NBL in terms of current players, active players, shall we say. And of course, Chris Golding not far behind him on 412 here tonight. And we saw Brad Newley out there. We actually started before all of them. There's Jesse. 449 for him. What a career he's put together.
Well, I want to say last weekend was the first DNP he's had of his career. He did not play, didn't get out on the court. The next morning, he went for a 5-kilometre run. He participated in a community run. It's not like he just did it on his own. He's like, I'm not shying away from it. I'm going to go out there, get my 5Ks into my legs, so I'm still ready for next week. He's the ultimate pro. He should be out there to try and get some easy looks, set some good screens, make the right read. They need an easy one soon because this margin is going to continue to grow.
Well, Rob Lowe called for the offensive foul, so that's a 3rd personal now for Rob Lowe. And that's going to grab Dean Bickerman's attention, and here comes Ariel Hook-Porty straight away.
Yeah, that's a good call, Damo. With Jesse was absolute professional what he does and what he brought to the Wildcats organisation. And to know that he went for a run the next morning, every junior should know that if things don't go your way, let us sulk and get out there and do something with it. But Pinder takes a nice little crossover, and it might be a little bit of goaltending here.
So we all good
I'll
with
count the
counting
2.
the ball?
Jesse's was a park run with about 500 others and his 6-year-old, so he got out there, had a bit of fun, and when she stopped, he kept going. Keanu's backing himself to go off the dribble as well. I think he thinks he's got the sheer speed and athleticism of anyone that's trying to stay in front of him. It's not the first time we've seen it. We've seen it in games 1 through to tonight. It's obviously part of their game plan. Is Keanu, if you've got at the top of the key and you've got some space, you're back there to try and get to the ring.
I like to see him just have a little bit more poise there, Damo. It's not always speed and athleticism. He can have a little bit. And his first 2 points was a left-hander hook right in the middle. So he's got a little bit of a spin in there and use his body just to slow it down a little bit, that you're not turning the ball over and forcing some tougher shots.
Been good from the free throw line this season as well. Keanu Pinda coming into this game 8 of 9 from the stripe at 89%, up on last year's 73%. And 11 points in the game now for Keanu Pinda, who is the game highest scorer. Middle stages of the second. Perth down 8 here. And offensive foul going to be called on Melbourne United. Now Hook Porty and Dean Vickerman bordering on a technical foul there. Mark Bruce lifted the whistle and then decided to put it back down. But Hook Porty came in because Rob Lowe had 3 fouls and had to sit down. Well, now Hook Porty's got 3 and he's going out.
Yeah, Perth switched and tried to front him. So here they go, the Perth. They switch. He's trying to work around and front him, having that hand up and it extend. You've got to get both hands up and elbows, sharp elbows, Damo. I know that your eyes have been cut a couple of times from that. And you get those elbows up, not hands up.
Well, Hook Porty's staying out there for the moment. Pinda may have wanted to take it at him and challenge him with those 3 fouls. It's Ben Henshaw. They left him open. It's off the mark. None of 9 from deep, the Wildcats. This is deja vu all over again.
And he's on 3 fouls. They really should have gone at him. If Pinder kicks it out, just say, no, go roll it in the post. Let's see if Porty wants to guard you down there, knowing to give up the ball.
Usher upstairs grabs the rebound. Bounce pass was telegraphed and was never going to get to Bryce Cotton. Pass Shea Illy. 7 turnovers in the game now as Travers takes them on, draws a blocking foul, gets the 2, chance of a 3-point play, and the fans don't like it.
That was a big play. That was a wrong choice of passes. This is a bounce pass. There's a chest pass, which is quicker. Gets to the rack and gets the, like a home call. He might think he's still playing the Wildcats, Damo, but that was a bad pass by Asher in transition. But actually put the ball out in front of Bryce Cotton, let him go and get it. Results in a 4-point, maybe a 5-point swing here.
What a great first 20 minutes, great first 16 minutes for the Travers goal. He would have played this game over and over and over again in his mind, but to go out and put on the performance that he is so far, that's impressive.
Well, Pinda shut down by Travers. It took one to the chops as well, just counting his teeth. In fact, bleeding from the nose now.
Yeah. So
they're going to have to take him out, and this is not good. So Travers is coming out with blood streaming from his nose.
Backhand, no, that was a great block by Pinda. And that's what I'm talking about, Pinda going down there. He's gone 1 against 3. He's got to show a little bit of finesse. It's not all speed and athleticism here. Luke Travers gets his block shot, comes up. Great block shot, gets him on the way down. Gets the back of his head straight on his nozzle.
Good. There's none.
He'll be okay with that, but yeah, the Wildcats making the sub. Bryce Cotton going off. They really need to get into some rhythm offensively. And struggled this quarter, only 7 points, Case. And, you know, they've had a couple of open looks, missed some foul shots, but just their rhythm, what they're running, Melbourne's physicality is really pushing them out of spots.
Well, Melbourne's on 5 team fouls already, so the Wildcats really should play some attacking basketball to pit the United defenders in 2 minds. Do we give up an easy one, or do we go after it, potentially going to get our 3rd or 4th foul and send him to the free throw line?
And there's Jacob Chance, future NBL head coach. Jacob won 4 championships here at the Perth Wildcats, and great to see him. Did a great job down with Scott Roth in Tasmania, but he was one of the best assistant coaches I ever had at the Wildcats, and he'll get his chance real soon, but he's a very, very smart man. Great relationship with the players, and that's a great pickup by Melbourne United this year.
Yeah, spent some time with the Boomers campaign as well. So he is a very talented coach, emerging talent in Australian basketball. But Melbourne lead by 10 here at the moment. Travers Harris has gone to have his nose looked at. Already Christian Doolittle knocked out of the game inside the first 2 minutes with a knee injury. We haven't seen him since. And Harris did a good job there, Michael Harris there. Win it back for the Wildcats. Pinder hands over.
Many assists if you make that shot.
Pinder, wrap-around finish.
So this is going to really test Melbourne defence. Just taking Bryce Cotton off for a little bit. Now does the weak side jump in and get to their normal defence on their defensive schemes. And you can see Wildcats made that extra pass and got Pinder near the rim.
Pinder's been outstanding in this quarter. He's got 8 of the 9 points that the Wildcats have mustered since quarter time. Single-handedly trying to keep them in the equation here. Being really impressed with his aggression. 13 points, 4 boards, couple of assists, and a steal and a block. And a blocking foul called here on Bowen.
And there he goes again. Counter. Pinder looks up, says, yep, I've got you. I don't care who it is. I'm going to try and get to the ring. And with 5 team fouls, why not? Keep backing yourself here. We see a blocking foul from Kyle Bowen and a guy that's shooting a great pick from the free throw line. We'll try and get some freebies.
Yeah, that's the offensive. When the defensive team is in those foul trouble, this is where you want to be aggressive, really force them. But you do get the foul, you get the chance to reset, get to the line, make some easy points, set your defense up, and that's how you dwindle down that lead.
Case, I can tell you about a film session we had with the Wildcats years ago when Trev was coach, and I needed a new pair of undies by the end of it because the other team got into foul trouble early and he stopped every possession saying, why'd you run that? That doesn't put pressure on the defense. Why'd you run that? They're not going to foul you in that one. There was a lesson in basketball IQ about taking care of business and running the right plays to try and force or draw some fouls.
Well, you won a couple of championships, Damo. You can't be all negative.
Great to have the insights of Trevor Gleeson and Damian Martin here in our broadcast coverage. 11 championships between them. It's been a good effort by Perth. They were down by as many as 12. They've halved that margin to 6. Tim English from the Western Bulldogs in the house tonight, taking in some of the NBL action. He's a fair basketballer himself with that type of size.
Sitting next to Ruby Ellis, West Coast Fever player as well.
Tanner Krebs has it. And he gets past Henschel pretty easily, but couldn't finish it from close range. Owen keeps it alive and comes up with the finishing touches for his first score.
That was a big bucket. Perth have been playing well these last 2-3 minutes, especially defensively, and give up that little cheap one just before the half. It's going to be a big 3 minutes.
Melbourne have got 8 scorers, Perth 4 on the score sheet so far. A great defensive play, Michael Harris rejects Krebs at one end, it opens up for Perth at the other, and Usher goes solo, off the mark, kept alive. Harris at both ends of the floor.
Great hustle by Harris, but this is not... Well, you've got to take the ball strong to the rack. You've got athletes out here. If you're going in for a layup, you've got to make sure that's going in or you're dunking the ball.
Perth Wildcats now none of 10 from long range. 5 players who have tried their luck from deep. We're going to see timeout called here by Dean Vickerman in Melbourne. 2:21 to play. It's an 8-point margin. Pinder on the bench with 15 points, including 10 in this quarter out of the 11 that the Perth Wildcats have mustered.
That's a good timeout, just taking a little bit of a breather. This next 2 minutes is very, very important of the tempo of the game. It's been physical out there, but certainly these 2 minutes into the half, Wildcats are going to want to get the ball back.
Snooze timeout. Good to see Luke Travers back on the floor. Damian Martin caught up with him pre-game and he had this to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to be back, obviously, see some familiar faces, but yeah, it's going to take a little bit of adjusting, obviously walking into the wrong locker room, but yeah, I'm sure once the ball goes up in the air, it'll just be another basketball game.
How has the build-up been? When the schedule came out, was this the game you looked forward, circled on your calendar?
I mean, not really. We're kind of just taking one game at a time, and I think we've done a really good job of that. So obviously the first game we're sort of looking forward to, and then it's just been, you know, every next game. So obviously this has come around, and I want to say from the start, yeah, it's definitely been one circled I've looked forward to. So yeah, happy that it's here now.
And what do you miss more, honestly, the Red Army or that beautiful mullet?
Yeah, the mullet would be up there, but obviously playing in front of a crowd like this is it's unbelievable. But yeah, the mullet is something that may come back in the future.
Great to see him in his element, Damo. This is the only trip here for Melbourne in the regular season, so I'm sure it was circled. Playing more minutes than any other player for Melbourne United, Luke Travers, averaging 32 a game. Golding off the mark. He's got 10 points, then a couple of threes, but unable to hit the target on that occasion.
That's a bad foul by Dellavedova, and he knows it too. Going for that quick little steal on the rebound. Grabs his hand, walked the whole 94 feet straight to the foul line. This is when you, if United, you're trying to push that out to 10 to 12 points because you know the Wildcats are going to come in the second half, and the Wildcats are trying to get this maybe matched up scores level at the half, so a big little 2-minute stretch.
8 free throws to 1 in this quarter for the Perth Wildcats. Hitting nothing from deep, none of 10, so they've had to move it inside, but they need to make their free throws. And they're now 9 of 14, 64%. That's not good enough. Left 5 points out there. They trail by 7 as Travers resumes his battle with Michael Harris. Spins baseline. Good foot movement. Took on Sarr and Harris in tandem and came up empty. So inside the last 2 minutes of the first half. Melbourne on top by 7. Perth grabbing some momentum here. Get Bryce Cotton going as well. That would even help them even more. Harris has been good. Electric off the bench. Can't finish there. Sarr, a piece of that can only succeed in knocking it down out of court.
And they kick out 3. I'd like to see a couple of those go in for the Wildcats. It's a good little kick out by Webster.
So none of 11 from long range Perth. 6 players now have tried their luck. Without success. Dellavedova, 8 on the shot clock, and a mismatch against Alex Sarr. Look away pass, found Clark in the corner, and he knocks down the 3. He's got 8 points, including 2 triples.
6-point turnaround. The Wildcats miss an open look, then they're able to create down the other end through Delhi penetration, kick out to an open man. They take care of business. Huge shift in momentum, and now Alex swings it back Perth's way. When the big guy hits a 3, the Red Army go crazy.
It's 4 of 6 at 67%. This season, Sarr has been their best performer in terms of strike rate from deep. And Dellavedova, he's off the mark, so none of 2 from long range for him. Chance for Cotton, finds Sarr, just lost the handle, under pressure from Bowen. Scoop pass went straight to Ian Clark, who wants to take on Webster. Outside, well done there from Bryce Cotton. Read to where the pass was going. Got a piece of the action, but couldn't keep it alive. Melbourne will restart.
Bryce a little bit upset with himself. That pass wasn't on the money for Sarr, running and got the fumble. Resulted in a turnover and hustled back to get that interception and to stop that 3-point shot.
So Ty Webster actually called for that sub. Let's hope it's nothing untoward coming back from that leg injury. Maybe just a little gas, but he definitely was signalling to John Riley that he wanted to come out. Already playing without Christian Doolittle, who injured a knee inside the first 2 minutes. He's joined us late. Here's Goldie. He's been good. Can't connect on this occasion. Sarr did well. So did Michael Harris. Brings a lot to the table, Harris.
He's played well, Case. A lot of energy, both ends of the floor, and that's exactly what they need. Now just needs a little bit of scoring to tick over.
Cotton with it. Shot clock to 5. Sarr dishes outside. Back-to-back triples as Usher gets his first. He's now got 11 points. Only Pinder with 15 has more in the game. Margin slashed to 4. Clark off the mark. Usher's got it. Can go from half court. Got a balanced shot away. Couldn't hit the target. So halftime arrives here, and after leading by as many as 12, Melbourne have got themselves a 4-point buffer here at halftime. It's 39-35 United over Perth. That's a good fight back, Trevor Gleeson.
Yeah, it was. And it was really Harris that changed the course of that game. Just the energy that he brought on the floor with the block shot, bucket down the other end. And, you know, that was when Wildcats started to get a little bit more rhythm, make that pass out and hit that 3.
Melbourne have led at half-time in all 4 games that they've played this season. And at one stage out by 12 in that term. They'll settle for a 4-point buffer here, restricting Perth to 18 points in that quarter, while scoring 17 of their own. Let's get some reaction courtside with Damien Martin.
It's been an incredible first half, a game of momentum, a game of swings. What have you made of the first 20?
It's been up and down, like you said. Obviously, we know coming into this environment is going to be hostile. I think we kept our composure in the first quarter. Second quarter, I think we put them on the line too much. I think we do a better job of it in the second half.
And it seems like whether it's you, whether it's Dellavedova, whether it's Illy, you're just flat out not leaving Bryce Cotton when you're on defense.
I mean, we know how dangerous he is, especially at home. So trying to make it hard for him, not give him any rhythm shots, any open daylight for him to get going. I think we're doing a pretty good job of that.
Best of luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Ian Clark there with Damian Martin. Halftime arrives and we have got a ball game. It's Melbourne 39, Perth 35. More on Hungry Jacks NBL from RAC Arena in Perth right after this.
Who we close games with, you know, and who we start games with. You know, there's a number of things that we could do there. You know, as Delly's coming off a little bit of injury, brought him off the bench last night. Now we've got to have him and Shea play together a little bit more and make sure they get their reps. How do we close out games? We sort of close out with Luke Travers at 5 last night and put Ian Clark and Delly and CG on the floor. And it's the good problem of coaching is to have the depth and have these kind of conversations about how's it going to work, and if I can be true to the group and say who's performing, they're going to kind of close out games. On a given night we see the best matchup, and if they buy into that, it's going to go a long way.
Melbourne coach Dean Vickerman there speaking about the defensive qualities of his team. I'm with the 5-time NBL championship winning coach Trevor Gleeson, and they've done it again here, Trev. They've kept Perth to 35 at the half, 12 shy of their season average.
Yeah, they've done a really good job. Physicality has been a key. Obviously, they're paying a lot of attention to Bryce Cotton out there. Pinder was very, very aggressive that quarter. I liked it getting to the bucket. But they picked it up, and I'm talking about Perth Wildcats picked it up that last 4 or 5 minutes to really make this a contest. I thought Melbourne United could have broke away from that, especially by Chris Golding starting to shoot the ball.
Yep, they led by 12, and in the last 5 minutes, it was a 15-7 run by Perth, who were able to claw their way back into this frame and just down by 4. But Golding started in very good fashion with 6 points early, has 10 at the half, the most for Melbourne.
And just those little extra pass, Daly with the bag of tricks there. They got a couple of cheap points coming on the out-of-bounds plays, but Chris is shot well, even though he's only got 2 3-pointers. And Clark, as well, has been the other multiple scorer on threes. But they can put points on the board in a hurry, Case, and they can and will.
Well, we've joined in the house here tonight in Perth by one of the Wildcats' greatest ever. His singlet hangs from the rafters here. I'm speaking about Scott Fisher, and he's right now with Damien Martin.
I am indeed sitting next to 2 of the greats of the club, one of which we can see his jersey retired up in the rafters, number 30, Scott Fisher. Welcome back. I believe it's been a while since you've been in Perth.
It's been a while, all right. I lived here for 15 years, and I've been gone for 15 years. So it's been a wild couple 24 hours to see how much it's changed.
You achieved so much in your time as both player and coach, but is there one memory or one moment in particular that stands out above all others?
Wow, that's a tough one, but it was actually probably when I first came over to Perth, and I was just played in the preseason tournament just as a tryout, and played pretty well in that tournament. Got in Kerry Stokes' car, and by the time we got to the hotel, I was a Wildcat.
He can be very convincing in those car rides. And sitting to my right, a former teammate of yours, another great of the game, Paul Rogers. Do you have any stories about the big fella?
You know, the great thing about Paul was it was both a teammate of mine and I got to coach him, and it was fun either way. I mean, the guy in that year 2000 was as good as we've ever seen, and he was an absolute pleasure to coach as well.
And Roger, you got to play alongside who we've already said is one of the all-time greats, but what did make Scott so special as a teammate?
I mean, amazing player, but I think the ability to knock down that mid-range jump shot made him special. Like, he just didn't miss, and also obviously his physical size. So him and Blahoff made my job really easy, just to sort of mop up what I could and just do all the scoring and get all the accolades and stuff. But these guys are amazing, and Fisher was a great teammate. I'm not sure about the running slide on your guts thing, but hey, that was his bag, you know. So let him have that one.
I was going to ask you about that. If the Wildcats win tonight, can we see you out on court doing the famous slide?
Way too many people have asked me about that. I don't think I can work up enough sweat to actually go anywhere or travel anywhere on the court, but not to mention we need emergency nearby because I will get injured.
Final question. Both of you are posting up. Who wins in a game of one-on-one?
In the post, me, and anywhere else, Fisher, for sure.
I looked up to both of you guys growing up. Got to call you teammate for a while. Got to call you an idol. Thank you both for jumping on with us tonight. And Scott, welcome back to Perth.
Great to be here.
Wildcat royalty there, all 3 of them superstars of this franchise and of the NBL as well. Scott Fisher in the Hall of Fame of Australian basketball, a representative at the 1996 Atlanta Olympics, as well as winning 3 championships and a 2-time MVP. We'll take a short break and come back with the second half here. Melbourne 39 leads Perth 35. We've got a great second half coming your way. Welcome back to RAC Arena in Perth. What a great game we've got going here on a Friday night. Two of the heavyweights of the competition, the Perth Wildcats and Melbourne United. It was Melbourne by 5 at quarter time. They lead by 4 here at halftime. The two next stars, Alex Sarr, 5 points for him so far, along with 3 rebounds. And up against the big man, Ariel Hookporty, who's got just 2 points, 2 boards and 3 fouls. So right now, Sarr, there you see their season averages and whether they're expected to go on the draft, just having the edge so far. What are your impressions, Trevor Gleeson?
Well, just out of the Wildcats offense, he's the only guy that looks like he's going to score a 3. You know, on the pick and pop. If they're still going to have the aggressive defense against Bryce, we've got to put those two in those actions or have him on weak side spotting up. It's, you know, Hookporty took a couple to the basket and got blocked and got a little bit intimidated by the young fella in there. So we'll see how this pans out in the second half.
So they both start here, and Hookporty starts with those 3 fouls. Rob Lowe also has 3 fouls, which is a worry for Melbourne United, but they've got the lead. Shea Ili yet to score in the game. We'll wait a little longer. Dellavedova, the offensive rebound, and the floater gets scoring underway in the second half.
Just superior balance by Dellavedova. I don't think that was any offensive foul. He just had strong, and he has a great touch around the basket and works on all sorts of different looks. Again, denying Bryce Cotton up and pushing him out of the spots.
Here's Cotton. Nothing on offer. Skip pass. Shot clock rolls to 3. Corey Webster has to get something happening. He's off the mark.
Great scramble defense. Dellavedova is there to help Shea Ili because Shea was guarding Bryce. Long closeout to force Corey off the 3-point line, and then Chris Golding, he runs into it. Just great team defense. Everyone's sticking to the plan.
Hookporty misses what he should have made there. Come up empty, did the hard work, the offensive rebound, but the hook shot wouldn't work for him.
Well, back at he's looking at one eye, looking at the shot, but the other eye is looking to Alex Sarr to block that, and really not got no rotation on that ball at all around that rim.
60 seconds played in this third quarter. Wildcats still looking for their first score since half-time, as Pinder had 10 of their 18 in that second quarter. Enzo, Sarr. It's Webster once more. Finds Cotton. He fires over Ili. Shot on the rim again, Bryce Cotton. None of 4 from deep. Pinder, he overcooked it from close range. Well done, Travers, over the back of Alex Sarr to win it back for Melbourne United. Hookporty against Pinder. Dellavedova wants it back and eventually hits it. Golding. They've got the mismatch. Travers on Cotton. Skips outside. Ili overdue. Rattle around the rim. Wouldn't fall for him, and Sarr snatches the rebound. I'm not convinced Ariel Hookporty can play with fouls. Just look at that play as Webster takes on Dellavedova, draws a foul. It's a 3rd on Dellavedova as well. Free throws to come.
Yeah, that's a big battle with the big guys, Sarr and Hookporty. It's a really big battle, and they're breathing heavy. They're being physical and around the rim, and then you throw Pinder in there as well, and Luke Travers. So really, really dominating the ball and getting it out. It's going to be a big factor of winning this game.
First trip to the free throw line for Corey Webster this season, which is a little bit of a surprise given this is the 4th game.
That does surprise me, but they're the 2 freebies. That's his first points of the game, and sometimes when you're a prolific scorer like Corey and you're a bit quiet in the first quarter, or in this case the first half, you get to the free throw line, see the ball go through the hoop, you're going to back yourself in that next open look. If I was out there running a play, it'd be for Corey Webster next time down the court.
Again, Hookporty doing a good job. Offensive board and draws a foul. So he will go to the free throw line. Bryce Cotton picks up the foul. Going to be his 2nd personal.
Yeah, just work ethic by the big fella inside there. Just not giving up. It was really 1 against 3. Gets his hand on it, stays in the play, and gets to the line now. It's a big man out there, and we're going to win that ball.
Does that put the opposition players off with that big Damien Martin head in the background?
I was just thinking the ears are the same, so that means nothing at all.
Oh, that size on that and the size on his head are the same, you're saying?
It's a scale. That's not pretty. That's not pretty.
Absolute legend. Damien Martin and five-time championship-winning coach Trevor Gleeson in commentary here with us. Trust you're enjoying our coverage wherever you may be watching around Australia and beyond. Of course, the NBL, the Hungry Jacks NBL, going live into the United States. And Scott Fisher told us pre-game that he's catching up with the games as well, loves watching them. It's up in the middle of the night to check them out.
Webster, that was ambitious, and that's a fine finish from Pinder.
Yeah, that was poor defensive coverage by United. We got the easy switch. Webster threw it up. No one was blocking out. And an easy dunk. And that's what the Wildcats need. A couple of easy ones here to get it back tied up. Still 4 points, but let Melbourne can play here. Nice pick-to-picker action.
Hook did well. Works inside Sarr and adds the 2. 6 points to go with 4 boards now for Ariel Hook-Porty. Pinder's been the man. They haven't been able to contain, and takes them on, dishes outside. Usher in front of the rim. Porty had a piece of it. Came to Sarr. Usher takes them on. Tough shot. Well done, Travers. Just walled up against him. It was strong work.
Tried the Euro step. Luke Travers didn't move. And Alex Sarr, again, great hustle.
It's the length and the wingspan he brings. He's such an exciting talent.
You know, I think he's better defensively than offensively. But here, there's no rotation at all. Pinder gets an easy dunk. It's the easiest dunk that he'll get. Travers gone across to try to block. But here he goes to the rim. And Sarr, just that length, athleticism and height, puts that into the grandstand.
Harvey Norman replay showing you right up close and personal. Shea Illy. None of 4 from the field, and we're adding to that tally. Here's Hook-Porty against Sarr with the offensive rebound, and Sarr rejected the shot. Great battle between the next stars, toe-to-toe. Cotton, wraparound play. Usher ready to go. Off the mark.
Usher's last 3 shots have hit the all front of the rim. He's going to get that ball up, and they down the other end.
That's a foul on Hook-Porty, just with a body and nudge, and that's number 4 now for Ariel Hook-Porty, and here comes Rob Lowe.
Might be a challenge here maybe if he's picked up his 4th, but just strong around the rim. There's a little bit of a hook, a block shot, and that's what you want from the young fellow around that rim, protect that rim. And he does exit with his 4th foul, so he'll sit down and won't come back until probably about this time, 7-8 minutes to go in the 4th.
Big blow for Melbourne United. He's been fantastic tonight. He's been out there battling, not just only against Sarr, but they need someone to try and contain Pinder, who has been the Wildcats' best so far. So seeing him on the bench is massive loss for Melbourne.
Well, that just the last 3 minutes of that battle between him and Sarr has been great.
And 5 rebounds for Hook-Porty, and only Alex Sarr with 6 has more in that category. And he rolled the dice, Dean Bickerman. It was a brave move to have him out there at the start of the second half. And in the first play phase, you could see that Hook-Porty didn't appear to be the type of player who was going to be able to play with fouls. So he got 3.5 minutes out of him. And now he's going to have to cool his jets at the moment. So almost 4 minutes played in the second half. Melbourne by 5 with possession as Clark. It's a back from Lowe. Shot clock works to 5 now into red numbers against Bryce Cotton. Offensive foul called on Melbourne.
And this doesn't turn up in a stat sheet, but I'll tell you, the scouts are watching Alex Sarr, how he plays a mid-pick-and-roll defense. He was there and blocked that lane up, caused the guard to retreat and hold and get back in front, and now they forced the turnover. Just the positioning on the pick-and-roll has been first class for a young fella.
It also gives confidence to the guy guarding the ball to creep in a little bit. Bryce Cotton slid his feet, played up and close, knowing that if he did get beaten, he had Alex Sarr behind him to protect. Such was the faith, knowing that his shot blocker was under the ring.
Ty Webster about to check back in, but Usher's got 3 on the shot clock here against Travers. Forced a fire from deep. It rattled around and fell. He was 1 of 6 from long range, Usher, before he nailed that.
Yeah, all these shots were short. That was the first one that went a little bit long, the clock running down, and you're not thinking about it just to get the ball up. Might help him here a little bit. There you go, the inside out, step back and throws that up right as the shot clock is down to 1 second.
So again, they're digging deep here, the Wildcats. They've restricted Melbourne to just 6 points here in 4.5 minutes of action since half-time. Travers passed the Golding back door, just couldn't find the handle initially. Shea Illy, those shooting woes, gun shy at the moment, he's looking to pass. Gets Rob Lowe involved, who pushes Archer out of the way. Travers from outside, not his strong suit, but back in the jungle, it falls.
And gives the young fella a little bit of a stare down. That was a really good defensive set for the Wildcats, except for the last little bit with Luke Travers.
Issar elevating, just levitating in the air almost, and drawing a foul. It's on Chris Golding, going to be his second personal.
Yeah, I think that was a reach in by Chris, but Alexa a little bit probably out of control on that spin. He just has to get some balance on that spin and point his toes to where he wants to go, and most of the time that should be the rim.
On Dean Vickerman's plate at the moment, including a matchup against Brisbane on Sunday afternoon. Sydney defeating Brisbane a little earlier tonight. And of course, Tasmania, big winners by 30 over Illawarra last night to move to the top of the table. Super impressive, the Jack Jumpers, and they're going to be in action again tomorrow against the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Having just left Melbourne with a win against United and terrific fight back. Scott Roth and the Jack Jumpers are really doing a good job at the moment.
Yeah, look, I've only seen a little bit. Scott's a fantastic coach, and the team is playing right way to play, Damo. We did a lot of the stuff similar. You play the unselfish pass, you got each other on the defensive end, and they're playing hard, and they don't get rattled. They were 13 points down against Melbourne.
A nice finish from Chris Golding as he casually helps himself to a third triple of the game. 13 now, he leads Melbourne.
And Dellavedova will keep going back to that play until the Wildcats can make the right adjustments, because when Chris Golding gets going, he's as hard as anyone else in the league to slow down. So Delhi will look for his superstar team.
Golding thought he was fouled, trying to draw a whistle. Didn't get one there against Ty Webster. And Cotton, who's none of 4 from deep, works inside the Pinder. Took a bump, no whistle. And Melbourne with a chance to run. Travers goes back to Dellavedova looking for the 3-ball. It's off the mark. Travers, good job on the offensive glass against Henschel there, but it spills to Cotton, who's off and running. Takes on Golding, higher off the glass. Couldn't convert. Now a chance for Clark. Travers ahead of him. Wants to take on Henschel, the youngster, and draws a foul. Chance to get to the free throw line for Ian Clark. But we're excited to welcome Mitsubishi Motors back this season, and fans are also celebrating in stadium with the Mitsubishi Motors 3-pointer foam hands and a range of prizes up for grabs every week, including a brand new Mitsubishi Pajero Sport. Get involved if you can. Mitsubishi Motors back with the NBL. Ian Clark to the free throw line for the first time in the game after he was 4 of 4 in his debut game for Melbourne last week.
He got a little bit scrappy there and just used his experience to use his body to get to the rim and get that foul. And you see down the other end, there was one with Pinder and one with Cotton, just shied away from the rim. You've got to get the contact first, absorb it, and then get the shot away. A little bit of finesse around the ring.
So Krebs and Owen check back in.
Got a small lineup for the Perth Wildcats right now. I'd assume Hiram Harris is going to play that centre possession against Fletcher. Jordan Usher moves to the 4, but this is small ball now.
Here's Cotton penetrating, opens up Usher outside shot. Off the front of the rim once more. Well done, Hiram Harris in a mismatch there against Rob Lowe. Cotton tried to keep it alive, but unable to do so. Now Hiram Harris, the Kiwi international, against his fellow Kiwis. He's got his hands full here in terms of trying to match it with Rob Lowe.
All right, you ready? Good?
Okay, so just that pin down for Bryce. I'd like him to have a look at that shot, counting the catch and the shoot, instead of trying to fight the pressure all the time. And that's when he's going to get fouled with the, maybe they're trying to block and get the legs cut. Just working off those catch and shoot opportunities instead of putting the ball on the floor.
Well done, Bowen, to work inside of Henschel there. and to draw a foul as well. So he's going back to the free throw line. So right now it seems that Melbourne just able to have things on their terms. Every time Perth try and get back into the equation, well, Melbourne seem to find an answer.
Well, it's a game of chess right now because you've got two completely different lineups. You've got Cole Bowen, who's an established power forward. You've got Rob Lowe, who can pick and pop, but with his height, he's going to come up with some rebounds. And then you've gone small ball, where you expect to see some 5 out or some 4 out, 1 in from the Wildcats. They want to get up and down and really speed up the pace of this game. So let's see which one wins.
So Bowen, Perth born, is he going to supply some burgers for the whole state? The Hungry Jacks, the fans are licking their lips. And he just teased them. It's not what you would call textbook free throw shooting.
No, and that's one area of his game he has to improve. I'd like to see him getting that 3 ball to step out. College, he was a really big role player for St. Mary's, but he needs to get that scoreboard ticking up and picking those couple of hard work and effort points, get that scoreboard ticking.
Ty Webster comes up with his first points in the game, and Perth needed that because Melbourne were on a 9-2 run. After Perth had got back to within 2, now inside the last 3 minutes of the third, margin is 7. Biggest lead we've seen at any stage as Melbourne by 12 in the second. This is Krebs. Rattled around the rim. Low kept it alive. Golding steps outside the arc and splashes another 3. He's got 4 triples and 16 in the game.
And that's Damo. That's where their height comes in. You've got Noah Hyde on the floor. Rob Lowe. Easy offensive rebound and kick out 3 to Chris, who's got his eye well and truly in at the moment.
Yeah, they're going 5 out at one end and then they're switching defense 1 through 5 when they're on defense as well. And they forced a shot they'd be happy with, but you've got to box out. You've got to have those guards swooping through because at the end of the day, you're giving up height on Rob Lowe. As we see John really go to his bench, he's seen enough. He's going to bring back Alex Saar.
Yeah, you really got to put 2 guys on that. We talked about that in the NBA of squashing guys and making it hard for them to jump, and that was just too easy. Wildcats might need a little bit of a timeout here. They're stretching out to 12 points, and just the points are becoming a little bit too easy.
14-4 is the run in favour of Melbourne United. In the last 3 minutes, as Saar takes them on a little out of control. Got his own rebound against Latham, rejected by Bowen. Turnaround shot, rattles around and falls for Corey Webster.
Alex Saar just got to use that left hand, 2 hands on the ball around the rim. That's still has to develop his left and right side of the body. He's a good fast break opportunity for the Wildcats.
Chance for Ty Webster exploring. Back to Corey. Saar from the spot where he won the game last week against Adelaide, and he does it again. Wildcats have hit 4 threes in the game, and Saar has 2 of them and Usher 2.
Well, he's the only one who really looked like it's going to make a 3. So get him in the positions where he's picking and popping and got him in a transition. And the 2 brothers are finding each other quite easy there on the floor, but Ty couldn't knock that one down. Deladova, he's a leader right now. He's getting the team organised to get a great set.
Picks up the dribble, uses Krebs. Wanted low, had a mismatch down low against Corey Webster. Couldn't find a passing lane. Krebs in the corner ready to spot up. He's off the mark. Well done, Corey Webster, to hold low out of the equation there. And a chance for the Wildcats with a 9-second differential between game clock and shot clock here. And Corey Webster against Krebs. Looking to finish with a flourish here. Step back, shakes them, but can't finish it. And a chance now for Melbourne.
That pass has got to go back to Saar at the top, the 3. That's, you know, Corey's got to be in tune of what just happened in the game. That 3 ball was open, and then get him on the rotation.
Cotton called for the foul. Free throws to come here. Perth over the limit. Delavadova is going to the free throw line for the first time in the game.
And I think Bryce picks up his 3rd foul going into the last quarter. This is a big 2 points by Deladova to push it out to 9 points. See if the Wildcats can have a fast break 3 here. To run a little crossover and get the ball down the floor and get an open look for a 3.
And they would have practiced this a million times at training. If there's 3 left on the clock, they'll have a go-to set play to try and get a shot up and a shot they like.
Delavadova marked with the back end. So here comes Alex Sarr from half court. Get it on target. So we turn for home, and Melbourne, who led by 4 at halftime, have doubled the equation to get an 8-point buffer with a quarter to play. Three-quarter time in Perth. It's Melbourne 60, the Wildcats 52. Stay with us here on the Hungry Jacks NBL. RAC Arena in Perth is rocking. Final quarter coming your way. Melbourne turn for home with an 8-point advantage. They've had the margin out to 12 in the third and 12 in the second, but Perth keep finding the way back into the equation. They've got it back to within 2 in that third quarter, back to within 3 in the second quarter. But Chris Golding's turned it on. He was 16 points, including 4 triples. The Wildcats have got 4 triples as a team. Who wins from here, Trevor Gleeson?
Yeah, you think Melbourne have been playing much better on both ends of the floor, and you can see that just the deny and drives the ball.
Here's Usher firing on the front of the rim from close range as well. So 4 of 16 from the field for Usher. 29% overall from Perth. Bryce Cotton has not scored since quarter time. Wrestling down low with Rob Lowe. Back outside where Clark is lurking and knocking down another triple. His third, he's got 13.
Good execution with Melbourne. Back screen, steps out.
Double-figure margin inside first minute of the fourth. There's Corey Webster dishing off. Pinder, who's been great all night, adds another 2. He's got 19 and he's off to the strike.
Pinder has been the Wildcats' best, and it's surprising he's only played 20 of the 30 minutes possible so far. I don't expect to see him coming out in the fourth unless he calls for it, needs a quick break. They need him out on the floor. He does make them a better team at both ends.
Well, they've really struggled just to scoring, and I know Melbourne's always been a defensive team with Dean Vickerman. They really need a scoring punch from the balance. I don't know if the balance is right when you got Usher shooting the ball and 16 times out there. Still a quarter to go.
Ian Clark with it. His 13 points. Only Golding has 16 more for Melbourne. Here's Shea Illy, feeling overdue, and he'll continue to wait. Now none of 6 from the field, including none of 4 from deep. Travers, mismatch against Cotton, who funnels him toward Pinder and forces Travers into error. It's an offensive foul.
They're still switching 1 through 5, which speaks volume to the amount of confidence they've got in Alex Sarr, that even if he gets switched onto a guard, like we saw before with Shea Ili, that he can get the job done. Then we see Bryce down on the block on a post player. Keanu Pinder does the right thing, making sure he's in help defense and draws a charge.
Good denial again by Mel. Just puts them out that Perth are trying to play a little bit of Spain offense, where it's pick the picker at the top. Pinder needs to have Sarr out there.
Corey Webster exploring inside, adds to 2. It will not go away. Margin cut to 6. 5 unanswered points here from the Wildcats, and the fans getting involved as well. Trust you're enjoying our coverage. We've got 10,982 in the house here. Another fabulous crowd on a Friday night in the jungle. Ili took on Pinder, got no chase. Sarr behind hook 40, can't prevent him from adding another 2. He's up to 8.
Just that extra possession. Pinder did a great job defensively.
Outside, the 3-ball falls for Pinder as well. He's got 23 for the Perth Wildcats and is single-handedly keeping them in the frame.
And Bryce on the drive, pick and pop. Going to be there. Just you make the shots and put the right personnel there.
Pinder is everywhere. Can they finish an award?
Jordan Usher does. Gets the 2, draws a foul. Hands on their feet. Harvey Norman replay will show all sorts of things happening here for the Wildcats.
And they need that momentum. Bryce on the penetration and the kick out to Pinder. And Usher in a transition. Strong. So we got fouled there a little bit early. Both hands not in the right position with Luke Travers, but a strong finish. Gets the body-on-body contact and then shoots the ball, Damo. It's a strong move that you need against a good defender.
Energy is contagious, whether it's positive or negative, and right now Keanu Pinder has been all positive energy. As we see him hobble, looks like he's clutching at his quad. He's going to come to the bench. He's been massive for the Wildcats in their resurgence, but he's going to have to take some time off.
He just hurt his knee.
Well, Pinder is limping to the Perth bench here and beyond John Riley and going straight away out of the building, it would appear.
He was holding his knee early. I thought he might have hurt it when he fell down early, and then just this last little bit might have locked up a little bit on him, but I'll evaluate it here quick. And you know, Doolittle didn't come back out on the court. You would think that he would probably go for scans and would be out for the next, at least the next game. He wouldn't travel with that. But now we've got hook 40 on the line, the left-hander on the line.
Missed the first. Berger's on offer again here for the Hungry Jacks fans. Perth are on an 11-for-2 run in 90 seconds here. Hook 40 just teasing them and gets the back end to work there. So 9 points in the game now to go with 5 boards. Sarr has 11 and 9 in the battle of the next starts.
And that's what you need, a good 10 to 12 point lead against the Wildcats, because you got the crowd involved and you got this man right there.
Well, he's overdue. First scores is the opening quarter for Bryce Cotton. He ties it away. 7:10 on the clock. Dean Vickerman says, we need to talk about it.
And this is a problem for Melbourne. This is exactly what Melbourne United did against Tasmania. Good to see they got some adjustments.
66 apiece, 7:10 to play. Wow, good time for Bryce Cotton to get back into the equation.
You haven't got that last 3 from Bryce, have you? We can talk about that, because that's a defense.
So Bryce Cotton held scoreless from quarter time. Finishes 7 now, playing with 3 fouls. Where is game on here? So 3 minutes played in the last quarter. And a 12-point lead late in the third has evaporated for Melbourne. Travis couldn't handle the pass. Chance for Bryce Cobb. Got Michael Harris in support. Time to pass well. Harris can't convert. Hook Porty snatches the rebound.
I think Bryce had that again. I think he goes down and dunks the ball. Would have brought this arena down. Dellavedova is playing a very good 2-on-1 defense.
Perth are the best last quarter team in the competition, and Melbourne the worst. Saar pins it against the glass, but I think there was contact prior to the block.
And this is what I'm talking about with Bryce. Goes here, gets a screen, and the big defender is too low. His feet are underneath the 3-point line. That's exactly what Melbourne United did against Tasmania last week, and Doyle just came down and had 3 shots. Melbourne need to change their pick and roll coverage, either not in a drop, coming up level with the screener to stop that open 3 by Bryce. And counter, Wildcats should be going exactly play again and see how Melbourne are going to defend that.
They're still playing Corey at the point guard position so that Bryce can come and get from a pin down and then go into that on-ball screen. But Dellavedova is such a good defender. He's going to make it hard for him to even catch it. And when you catch it, he's going to force you off where ideally you want the ball, like we've just seen. 2 meters off the 3-point line. He needs to catch that lower.
Saar short on the front of the rim with the 3. A foot violation going to be called on Krebs here. Dean Vickerman doesn't like it. It's already been given a behaviour warning. He works over referee Mark Grist. The Perth will get this back here. And after they blew a lead against Tassie last weekend, Dean Vickerman doesn't want to see this unfold that way again. Here's Bryce Cotton elevating and gets a user-friendly roll. He's now got 9 points, including 5 here in this quarter.
And that's what Bryce has to work off those screens into a catch and shoot. You know, he's lethal as a catch and shoot. Thought he was doing too much dribbling in that first 3 quarters.
Well, Dellavedova takes them on, draws a foul on Usher, going to be his 2nd personal.
He got bailed out on that one. That was a good defense, but again, tries to lean in and block the shot. Dellavedova gets a good drive. Here's Pinder just hit his knee, looking for a sub straight away. He was calling for that earlier. He just bashed knees with Luke Travers. Hopefully he's back on the court here shortly. He's just coming back into the arena now with Josh Kavanagh. And see how he comes in, but a big 6 minutes coming here.
And Trev, for a coach, how disruptive is this? Spinner's been the star. 23 points. He goes out and how can you focus on what's happening on the floor without wondering what's going on behind you?
Well, yeah, you can't worry about things you can't control. So Alex Saar here stepped off the line to have a conversation with Bryce. Dellavedova missed the foul shot. And now he gets 2 more because he illegally left the lane while Delhi had the ball. So it'll be interesting to see if Pinder comes straight back into this lineup.
Well, the Wildcats medical staff have walked straight up to John Reilly, given 2 thumbs up. So I think we'll see Keanu Pinder sooner rather than later.
Well, less than 6 minutes on the clock. Melbourne lead by 2. A reminder, when these teams last played here, round 10 last year, it was Perth winning by a single point, scoring the last 8 points in 45 seconds. The Corey Webster fall away that got them across the line. Here's Cotton, wheeling and dealing. Takes multiple defenders on. Saar pulls up. He's overcooked the shot. Chance for United. 39-35 is the rebound count in favour of the Wildcats. A little over 5 minutes out from full time. Golding with it now. Yet to score in this quarter. Decides to take it to the rack and adds the 2. He's got 18 to lead Melbourne United. Only Pinder with 23 has more. And John Reilly calls timeout. 5:14 to play. It's Melbourne by 4.
Nice with Chris Golding turning the corner there. No weak side help. Really getting fatigue a factor now if your defense can really help the paint and not give layups up. You know, layups are going to get you beaten, Damo, and that should have been help. Dellavedova played smart and stretched it out, and here's Doolittle out there. So them look good.
Been a war of attrition, hasn't it? Doolittle went down with a knee problem after falling over the top of Shea Illy inside the first 2 minutes of the game. Travers went out in the second quarter with blood streaming from his nose. Now we're seeing Pinder leave the floor but come back out in this final quarter as well. So such a compressed schedule when you're playing all these games quickly. Any injury of any significance can really have a significant effect on your season. And Damo knows all about that because he suffered a few of them.
Yeah, went through quite a few injuries of myself, but both teams are jumping on a plane tomorrow to head over for game 2 on Sunday. So they've got double headers this weekend. They're going to jump on. They're going to have long nights, ice bath, rest, recovery, because it has been such a physical game. And even Dellavedova, he's copped so many to the head every time he goes down. He seems like he's copped a stray elbow, but everyone's going to be feeling tonight's game.
Yeah, Perth heading to Sydney. Melbourne head back home for a Sunday appointment hosting Brisbane. So it's United on top here by 4 points. And we're going to move inside the last 5 minutes of the game. Shot clock to single digits. Challenged by Rob Lowe. Has done an excellent defensive job, Rob Lowe. 3 blocks in the game, but a chance for Cotton against Dellavedova. Wants to go solo. Takes him on. Nice finish. Gets a whistle as well. It's Bryce time.
I don't think he had to call that Michael Naylor, and the ball went in. Stop the clock. Well, the ball's gone in, and he doesn't need to do that, but the ball goes in. The misses, yeah, call it. But the players are not complaining because they need the rest.
Well, the Wildcats are happy because it allowed them to sub back in Pinder, so they're grateful for the goaltending call.
Dellavedova waving the help away, wants to take Bryce on solo, and got it off just in time. 9 in the game now for Dellavedova.
It's a game of 4-on-4. Watch Delly this whole possession. He's not worried about anyone else other than Bryce.
Now going to be called on Dellavedova here. So that's his 4th personal foul.
Team foul, sorry. Yeah, is it Delly?
In fact, they're going to call it on Rob Lowe, it would appear. And Rob
he's
Lowe
out.
is out of the game. So Rob Lowe fouls out of the game here with 4:15 left on the clock.
And again, just Bryce working off the ball, put the body on the line, and sometimes you've got to sacrifice that for the better of the team, and Rob Lowe certainly did that.
Fouls out for the first time this year. Only fouled out once all season. Last season, Rob Lowe. Here's Cotton. He's warming to the task. Pulls up for another. Off the mark. Harris kept it alive there over the back of Golding, and Bryce goes back to work. Takes on Travers. Couldn't finish from close range, but Cordy puts a stop to it. Rebound number 7 for him. And Dellavedova against Harris. Whistle seems inevitable. Clark baseline. Got Pinder in the air. Finds it 40. The ball knocked down out of court. And we might see a challenge here. John really pointing to the video. He wants a response from his video expert, but it looks as though they're going to let it go. Melbourne restart. Dellavedova to Golding. In traffic. Outside. Clark spots up and knocks down another 3. His 4th of the game.
And that's big. You know, Perth were asking and complaining for the review. The ball, they weren't in defensive position. And then they got caught on the rotation and it was a kick out 3. You know, you can't. Here's me saying you shouldn't be arguing with the referee. But once the decision, leave that up to the coaches.
Usher drains another triple and drags Perth back into the equation. He's got 20.
I'm just writing this down. 13th of October 2023. Trev said stay off the refs.
Stay off the refs.
It is Friday the 13th too, mate. All right.
Full moon, strange things happening. And what a contest this is. 2 heavyweights going toe-to-toe. Dellavedova off the mark, loose ball. Pinder gets after it. And a chance here for the Wildcats. They're down 4. Inside the last 3 minutes, another cliffhanger looming between these two teams. Great defensive play again from Melbourne United. Golding gets it from Dellavedova. Wants to take on Corey Webster. Gets him down to the low block. Fancy his chances. Corey Webster slapped it out of his hands.
Big defensive play. So some weird stuff happening. Corey Webster's playing defense down there.
And you're saying stay off the refs.
Here's Pinder. Goes to work, draws a foul, so free throws to come. And Dellavedova has picked up his 4th personal foul here.
That was a great little drop pass. Pinder rolling, getting that with speed. Tried to finish at the left hand, but just off a little bit balance.
I'm living out of a pick and roll. Ball in Bryce Cotton's hands. Keanu Pinder setting that screen, and then it's everybody else spacing and seeing what happens. All getting Alex Sarr in the screen as well. But right now, this is where it's Bryce Cotton time at one end, and at the other, Delhi's making big plays, kicking it out to the right players. Can they get at least another 2 or 4 more points to apply that scoreboard pressure?
So Pinder to the free throw line, 6 of 7 so far in the game, 8 of 9 on the season coming into this. And this has been a virtuoso from him. You saw him put up some impressive numbers last season. Made the All-NBL second team, most improved player. Second consecutive year, averaging 17 and 9. Here's Dellavedova working on Usher, who's going to be called for the foul.
And that's the 4th team foul. So anymore, both teams will go to the line, any fouls, and Delhi just uses his experience there, locked arms up and milked the clock to
John, thank you.
get the foul called on him.
Try to pass the ball in. Thank you.
Melbourne by 3 inside the last 2 minutes. Perth scored the first bucket of the game through Bryce Cotton and led by 4 in the opening quarter, but have not been in front since quarter time as Dellavedova takes them on. Hook courting against Sarr, spinning one way, back the other, into traffic, he's fouled. Free throws to come for Ariel Hook-Porty, but he's had his problems from this strike. 57% on the season, 3 of 5 here in this game.
Yeah, it comes down now, 1 possession game. It's even making 1 foul shot here is huge. You know, you don't need a 3 straight away here for Perth. You need a good execution. Like Damo said, get Bryce into the pick and roll. Well, they've got Pinder slashing, Sarr popping, and playing out of that set.
10.7 boards. Ariel Hook-Porty on this one. And add to that tally, that was calm and nice.
Massive free throws. Talking about, Case. Just ice those.
So Melbourne by 5. Time the enemy here of the Wildcats. As Sarr feeds Pinder, working on Hook-Porty, who's playing with 4 fouls. Pinder wants to take it at him, draws contact. Hook-Porty is out of the game. Fouls out for the 2nd time this season. Free throws to come for Pinder.
So it's going to be interesting to see who they put in here. Going small ball. Yeah. They put Shea back into the lineup, are they? And really have Luke Travers play the 5.
Lowe already fouled out. Hook-Porty joins him with 5 fouls, so not too many options for them. And good luck, Luke Travers. He's got Pinder and Sarr to try and contend with here.
Yeah, but it's going to be a small ball game now, Case. They're going to milk the clock as much as you can. It really shouldn't be the big guys' area for this last minute and a half.
It's just whether they can come up with the rebound. They'll switch everything except Shea Ely guarding Bryce Cotton. The other 4 Melbourne United defenders will switch 1 through 4, but they've got to come up with the board.
Pinder misses the back end. Loose ball came to Dellavedova. So less than 90 seconds to play. Melbourne by 4 with possession in the driver's seat.
Yeah, that was a big miss. Could have been made it into 1 possession 3-point game. Now it's still a 2 possession game, which is really hard to come back from.
Here's Clark, puts it on the deck against Pinder. The finger roll was pretty to watch. He's got 18 points now, Ian Clark, on 6 of 10 shooting. And timeout called with 1:11 left on the clock. And there's the finisher, Ian Clark, championship winner in Sydney and with Golden State in the NBA. Snooze timeout, and that's why he gets paid the big bucks.
Well, that's a smaller outfit on the court. That's great coaching by Dean Vickerman. You've got the mismatch there with the big, and you get him on the fake, finish on the rotation when you're playing 5 out. And it's going to be hard for the Wildcats to come back now. It's going to be a 2 threes. Really need a quick score here and then a full court press.
We said that last time, Trev, though, when they played here and they were down 8 with 45 seconds to go. and they finished in front. So don't rule out anything, particularly on Friday the 13th. If you've just joined us, Trevor Gleeson was actually giving advice to coaches to stay off the refs. Damo, I don't know what to make of tonight.
I was about to give offense advice, but I'll stick to things. Look, Ian Clark, I'm just blown away by his patience. A lot of imports come out here and think they've got to take over games. He takes what's given, and he's so efficient. He rarely wastes a possession and just comes up with big play after big play when it's his time to step up.
Quality performance and a quality game going here as well. And the Hungry Jacks NBL Friday night special between the two heavyweights, living up to all expectations here at the moment. Ian Clark with 18 points in the game, including 8 in this last quarter out of the 21 that Melbourne have come up with.
They're taking this full court, which surprises me. And you can advance it, 14 on the clock. Obviously, they've got a full court set.
So Corey Webster with it, guarded by Ian Clark. Both teams over the limit in terms of fouls in this last quarter. Inside the last 60 seconds, Webster takes on Clark, nothing on offer. Alex Saar, this time the three won't work. Pinned to the rebound, kept it alive, but falling out of court off balance. Tried to keep it alive, but can only succeed in throwing it out of court. 10 turnovers now for Perth, 12 from Melbourne United. Dean Vickerman certainly earned his keep tonight.
All right, don't break. Here you go.
Melbourne with such an unbelievable success record here in Perth. They've won 9 of their last 11 games.
Yeah. Involved in a few of those. I think Bryce Cotton and maybe Mitch Norton in playing 3 or 4 of those at the end of 19-20. But again, getting into the basket, gets an easy point, now puts it up to 8. So it's a great execution by Melbourne down the stretch. Perth, another turnover. And you can put this one to bed.
John really wants time out here.
It's really late for...
Time out. I'm switching the ball.
Margin is 8, 26 seconds to play. Timeout called by the Perth Wildcats. Now, it's been a brave fight back, but let's give full credit to Melbourne, Trev, because their defence has done it again. They've restricted Perth to 75 points so far. And this is a team that came into the game averaging 94 to lead the competition. So the D of Melbourne has been the best in the competition so far this season.
Well, look, they got the best backcourt defense in the league with Shea Ely and Matt Dellavedova, without a question. They can pick full court up for the full 40-minute game, and it just wears people down, and you can see they're doing a great job of denying Bryce the ball and denying his easy catches and pushing him off spots. And that's what a great defense does. Push you out of spots, make you uncomfortable, and make you push uphill all day. And Dean Vickerman has been a brilliant coach over his career, and he's got this team, if not first or second in the league defensively, and you know, they're right up there for the championship battle right now.
When you talk about the defensive backcourt, where you throw in Ariel Hook-Porty, who's leading the competition in rebounding and block shots. And you still have to make room for Joe Luala-Chul, who they're expecting to get back in the next couple of weeks as well. Initially, it was thought he would be back in 2 weeks, but Dean Vickerman told me pre-game it might be just a single week before he's back. So free throws to come here for Shea Ely, who's off to the free throw line.
That's a good problem to have.
It is.
You can bring the other big guy back in.
Will it disrupt them, what they're doing?
Well, he'll be on a minutes restrictions when he comes in, so he can ease him in. And what Dean Vickerman now is just trying to get that new unit working with Luke Travers, with Dellavedova coming back in, and just getting him on the court with Chris Goldie, and he'll just introduce those slowly, but he won't upset the unit and the core of the team.
Shea Ely, none of 6 from the field. He's been great from the free throw line this season. 10 of 11. Shea Ely, he's got 2 assists in this game, averaging just 1, but mentioned at the World Cup, Shea Ely was outstanding. 7 assists to be 3rd in the competition. He was 25 of 27 from the free throw line to be top 10 at the tournament as well. So Corey Webster, speaking of Kiwis, knocks down the 3. His first of the game and cuts the margin. Good pressure as well. Ely and Webster, the two Kiwis collide.
Can I get a review of that, please?
Now Mitch here wants a review.
It's at 18 seconds left. Deladova taking the ball in. So this press breaker of Melbourne putting the guard. Perth Wildcats are going to trap that first pass and look for the pass back to Deladova.
Yeah.
Delhi has 11 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and just the 2 turnovers as well. So he again has lived up to his end of the bargain. Came in as Melbourne's leading scorer, averaging 14 a game, and top 10 in the league in assists with 5 a game, and right on his season average of 6 rebounds. So full credit to Matthew Dellavedova, who missed out on the World Cup. It certainly hasn't deterred him. In fact, if anything, it's inspired him even more.
Yeah, just seeing his body, how ripped he looks. He's going to do the work and give this thing another crack. And, you know, he's the ultimate professional. You can see his game. He's got the little floater. He's got the underhand floater. And here we get the side out. The referee was right there. So I'll be surprised if they turn this over. Yeah, looks like maybe Webbs. And the Red Army's going to get in. It's on the big screen, but quickly got out of that before the restlessness of the Red Army gets into it.
Nearly in traffic once more, collides with Pinder. He's going to be called for the foul, so that will be his 5th personal as well. So Pinder fouls out of the game. That is for the 3rd time this season in 4 games.
It's definitely a problem. It's something he's got to work on because they are a better team with him on the floor. And I spoke about him only playing 20 of the first 30 minutes, but there's a reason for that because he is prone to fouls. Going back to Delhi, though, one of my favourite things about Delhi is I was fortunate enough to be part of the Australian Boomers team in about 2007, 2008. I was the youngest on the team, a new guy amongst all these guys I looked up to. Delhi was at the Australian Institute of Sport and he's about to go away and captain the Australian under-20s at the World Champs. And he came up to the table and I was sitting alongside Boomers greats like Jason Smith and Matthew Dellavedova, and Matty Nielsen. And Delhi says, Damien, do you mind if we have lunch? Because he wanted to talk about my experiences at the World Cup. And he had a pen and paper and he was taking notes. He's been the ultimate pro because if someone's been there, done it, he wants to know. If he can improve, he wants to know. I love everything about Delhi. The fact he even showed up to training the day after he got cut, would have had his heart broken when he had to return from the Boomers camp. He's as good a person as you ever meet and the ultimate pro.
What a finish there from Corey Webster as well. He's got 8 of his 12 in this last quarter.
And again, that's just great defense, and that's you're just throwing it up at that stage. Corey has that ability to get that 3, and this might be Wildcats' most points, or United's most points against. It's nearly 30 points the Wildcats have scored. And maybe something for the future. They look to attack them a little bit more from the perimeter, but Melbourne have been outstanding for the full 40 minutes. As I say that, Shea misses, but well and truly deserved this victory.
Henschel, tough shot. Falling away, can't get it done, and Melbourne United have prevailed. Their winning streak here in Perth continues to impress. They've now won 10 of their last 12 games in the jungle, and they've done it here in the final analysis by 7 points. Full time in the jungle, Melbourne 88 defeats Perth 81. Ian Clark is our footlocker player of the game with 18 points, including 8 in the last quarter when it got as tight as 2 with 7.5 to play. We'll be back to wrap it up here from the jungle right after this. Melbourne, salute again.
Proceeds of all the active dream life lottery goes towards improving the lives of people
GAC Arena. The Junglers provided another wild ride for us, and it was an outstanding performance by Melbourne United. They led by 5 at quarter time, by 4 at the half, by 8 at three-quarter time, and eventually prevailed here by 7, 88-81. As we take a look at the Hungry Jacks highlights, but full credit to the Wildcats as well. Trevor Gleeson and Damien Martin are with me. Wildcats won 2 of the 4 quarters and kept on coming.
Yeah, they really gave it a shot at the start of that last quarter and got it back to a 1-possession game. And then Bryce started to warm up, and Melbourne just grinded them down. And that man there, Damo, you mentioned him a number of times, just came down with clutch points. Every time Wildcats came, he was there.
Well, the spacing that Melbourne United had all game at the offensive end was perfect. The timing of their cuts, the way they set screens, that ball movement, whether it was coming out of Delhi's hand to the open man or going through Shea Ely, they were brilliant. They executed it. More importantly, their defense. Their defense won them tonight's game. They made it almost a 4-on-4 game, and then 1-on-1 depending on who was guarding Bryce.
Great game here tonight. We've got plenty of action coming your way tomorrow night as well. Adelaide against Illawarra, the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix against Tassie as well. So 2 great games there, but here in the jungle, it's Melbourne United 88, Perth 81. They're now up to 3-1 and joint top on the ladder. Trust you've enjoyed it. We'll see you again soon.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jacks and Bunnings Warehouse.
One. Presser. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, from the press conference. Oh, the first journalist arrives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Presser. Well, this happened, that's happened. And what do you think, Alex?
I think it's getting toasty up in here, and I'd like to leave.
Maddie, do you like the retro feel of the press conference with this table?
Reminds me like I'm in high school, this thing.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've got the Zoom calls coming in tonight for Melbourne. Will there be a journalist awake? Time will tell.